Let's face it, when we all read the book of Mice and Men, we've all wondered, what the heck is wrong with Lenny? Well, I'm glad you're here because I'm about to tell you a few reasons that are possible what is wrong with Lenny. Number 1, panic disorder, which leads to panic attacks. Panic attack, a sudden episode of intense fear that triggers severe physical reactions when there is no real danger or apparent cause. This might be a good reason to explain why Lenny killed Curley's wife. She started screaming when he pulled her hair, and then he got scared, thinking that George would get him in trouble. Afterwards, you know the rest. Number 2, schizophrenia. Definition: a severe brain disorder in which people interpret reality abnormally. Schizophrenia results in hallucinations, delusions, and extremely disordered thinking and behavior. This can explain why Lenny never pays attention when others are talking, at the end of the book when he thought Aunt Clara was talking to him, and also why he ain't so bright. Also, why nobody can ever understand what he's saying, because he's always lost in his own train of thought. Who knows of the wonders that could be going inside of his head? Rabbits, dogs, mouse, George, Curly, Curly's hand, and many more, obviously. Number 3, impulse control disorder. People with impulse control disorder can't resist the urge to do something harmful to themselves or others. While they're doing it, they will have a certain type of sensation, such as fear, but afterwards they may blame themselves, feel regret, or guilt. For example, oh no, why did I just do that? You see, I didn't want to throw my hat on the floor, but I did, and I felt bad afterwards. So that's kinda how Lenny felt. When he was pulling her hair, he was scared. And then, when he killed her, he felt guilty and ran away. Number 4, ADD, otherwise known as Attention Deficit Disorder. Now, please don't be offended when I say this, because when I say ADD, I mean extreme ADD. ADD is when you can't pay attention for a prolonged amount of time. And this can explain why Lenny never remembers what George says. An excerpt from the book. Now look, I'll give him the work tickets, but you ain't gonna say a word. You just stand there and don't say nothing. If he finds out what a crazy bastard you are, we won't get no job. But if he sees your work before he hears you talk, we're set. You got that? Sure, George. Sure, I got it. Okay. Now when we go in to see the boss, what you gonna do? And Lenny forgot. This could be another explanation as to why you may think you're talking to him, but really, you're talking to yourself. Which can also mean why, when Curly's wife was screaming to get off of her, he wasn't listening. He was in his own train of thought. And number 5, dementia. However, this is least likely to happen because Lenny is pretty young, and dementia usually happens because of old age. If you don't know what dementia is short-term memory loss, commonly found in elders. But let's say Lenny did have dementia. That would explain a lot. His recurring forgetfulness, the fact that he does not respond to whatever you say in the correct manner. And once again, you may think you're talking to Lenny, but really, you are talking to yourself. In conclusion, all of these diseases actually make sense because back then, in the olden days, they didn't have doctors or psychologists, so they couldn't really diagnose you with anything. Which means it wasn't Lenny's fault that he was screwing up. And as Lady Gaga says, thanks for watching.